kids. We had the commissioner wearing a T-shirt. We had Hawaiian shirts from not one but two NFL head coaches. We had 55 million people over 3 days watching an NFL draft truly unlike any other. And it's with that I say happy Sunday to you and thank you for watching NFL Total Access Draft Recap presented by Ram Trucks. I'm Andrew Siciliano. Hall of Famer Deion Sanders joins me shortly. Brian Billick and Charlie Casserly as well. It is hard to put 255 picks into 2 hours and make sense of all of them. We're going to do our best. We're going to start perhaps with one of the most interesting, intriguing, perplexing picks, if you will, and that is the Eagles taking Oklahoma quarterback Jalen Hurts at number 53 overall. He is now going to Philly to back up Carson Wentz, a guy who did play all 16 games last year. Granted, he couldn't finish the playoff game. Wentz went to Twitter and said all the right things. Welcome to the best football city in America, brother. And Hurts is saying all the right things as well. So excited to get to learn from you in Philly. Let's get to work. The man who did the work, Howie Roseman, Eagles GM, spoke to our Mike Garafolo and channeled a story from 2012 to explain why he did it.
I was with Coach Reed in 2012. And, Mike, I don't know if this has been reported, but we had this plan. We had this plan that we were going to go into it, and we're going to get a quarterback who is now playing really successful in another place and a quarterback who's won a world championship in our place. And we get both of them. And we try to get a little cute. We kind of figured out the difference between the second and third rounds. And I feel like my lesson that I learned from that is, what is the difference between taking a guy in the second round and third round if you get a guy who's an important player to your football team?
All right, I just want to make sure the 2012 draft you're talking about, because it's been reported you had interest in Russell Wilson. So you're talking about Russell Wilson was a guy that you kind of had in your crosshairs. And
yeah, I'm not going to get tampering charges. I'm not going to do anything. So, I'm just saying we're going to make sure we learn from the things that we did, and we're not going to get cute.
Interesting. It's not tampering, Howie. The Seahawks took him. You can say it now. They took him 75th overall. The Eagles also took Nick Foles there. And I mentioned that Carson Wentz did play all 16 games. He did get concussed in the playoff loss to Russell Wilson and the Seahawks in Philadelphia. It was Josh McCown who came off the bench. And I would argue, Deion Sanders and Brian Billick, that Jalen Hurts last year, I know this is a hypothetical, would have come off the bench in place of Josh McCown, or Carson Wentz rather, and won that game. That's exactly why, Deion, you go get a guy like this. He might be a gadget guy, but he's also a legitimate backup quarterback.
I'm not going to say he's a gadget guy. We got to stop putting labels on this kid. This kid lost, 2 games at Alabama and went into Oklahoma and had a great career, a great college career, statistically one of the best college careers that we've ever seen. This kid is a complete winner. We've never seen him lose his composure. We've seen him humble himself, sit on the bench, back up to her. When his number was called, he went in and did his job. Went on to Oklahoma and led those guys as far as he could take them. I love everything about this kid, his maturity. He developed as a passer last year. We all know he could run the ball successfully, but he is a bona fide leader. We've never seen this guy out of control, and he's been before our eyes over the last several years in college football in its largest stage. I like this kid. And he's backing up a quarterback who has missed at least 13 games in his NFL career. But the likelihood of him getting in and an opportunity to play and perform is great. I love this pick.
Yeah, I think, and what Philadelphia is seeing, Jalen Hurts, you knew he was going to come up higher in the draft because of the success of Lamar Jackson than he might otherwise. Lamar Jackson, a lot of people said, okay, this is a tailback playing quarterback. Well, Jalen Hurts is a fullback playing quarterback. He's much more physical. He's not as a developed passer as Lamar Jackson. That's got to come a little bit. But I agree, he will continue to develop as a quarterback, sit in that spot behind Carson Wentz. But they will have some packages for him. But don't think for for a second now. But Doug Peterson isn't going to have a number of different packages in the red zone on third down as they continue to develop him. He's not going to run the same offense that a Carson Wentz does, but we saw this with a Lamar Jackson and a Joe Flacco, even though that timetable was very defined. Joe Flacco was on his way out of Baltimore. That's not the case with Carson Wentz. But they'll balance out that package and continue to develop Jalen Hurts. At the same time, they are going to have him in some very specific packages to utilize his athleticism.
38-4 as a starter between Alabama and then last year in Oklahoma, in Norman, and combined last year for Lincoln Riley, 52 touchdowns, 32 passing, and 20 on the ground. He is a winner. Chase Young, by the way, gentlemen, stay right there. Chase Young, also a winner. Thought it was cool that he gets drafted by his hometown team. He is going to be a Redskin. Oh, it was adorable. You saw Chase Young there with his Redskins jersey. Brandon Ayuk as well grew up as a Niner fan. There he is with his Niner shirt. He went 25th overall as the 49ers fill a need. They needed another wide receiver after Deion Sanders' guys went to New Orleans and signed a free agent contract. Deion, which teams do you think filled their free agent needs or their overall needs the best in the draft?
I like San Francisco, man. I was listening to D. Hall moments ago, and he got it right. These two guys, the head coach and the GM Lynch, I mean, they know what they're doing. I like the understanding of a good head coach and a guy who formerly played the game. That's a tremendous hookup. Right, Coach Billick? That's a wonderful hookup right there. Great things happen. But when you bring in Kinlaw, let me tell you something. My son plays for the University of South Carolina, and watching this guy rush the passer, bring heat, show up in and out every day, every game, this guy's a bona fide baller. You go in the draft, you get a couple receivers that can consequently replace Sanders, and you get a tight end, and you get a lineman. Then, to top it all off with the sugar on the top, you go get Trent Williams. You go get a 7-time Pro Bowler, man, possible all-pro guy to come and shore up your offensive line. Wow. These guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to sound a little bit like a homer, but the Baltimore Ravens and what they were able to do to move themselves into 6 picks in the first 3 rounds. And the thing I love the most, remember, it's a pretty good football team, was the balance. They hit every aspect of their football team in the first 3 rounds with these 6 picks. And you start with the linebacker Queen. Obviously, that was a need. Like, they need help in the running game to go get Dobbins at the beginning of the second round. They addressed the guard position. They lost, obviously, due to retirement. The key thing for me is the only thing, if you want to be critical, they really did want to get a edge rusher. They really didn't come up with that. They certainly have added to their defensive line already with Calais Campbell and Wolf. But what they were able to do with these 6 picks by design and add youth to this team across the board, I don't think you can have a better draft than the Baltimore Ravens had.
All right, one last thing here. For the record, Deion, you played for the Falcons, Niners, Cowboys, Redskins, and Ravens. You have not played for the Saints. They signed Emmanuel Sanders, not Deion Sanders. Now that we have that cleared up.
Almost.
15 yards.
Almost played for the Saints.
Almost. Could have been. Higgins is a Bengals fan. Why? A.J. Green. So now he gets to play with A.J. Green. So when you see this tweet from T. Higgins, realize it is real, it is sincere, a dream come true. It's awesome. Justin Herbert is now the Chargers quarterback. How about this look from Herbert in those great new uniforms? I also think it's cool that Herbert goes from a school in Oregon that has like 85 uniforms to a team that has the most uniform combos in the NFL now with 6. Here's the new Chargers quarterback with Colleen Wolfe.
Justin, congratulations. You're going to get one of these too. This is awesome. I have so many questions for you. But first off, one of the best videos I think I saw on draft night was you and your family and your neighborhood and your coach, everybody coming out. It was so cool. Just that scene. You're like the local hero, the favorite son. What happened there? Tell me about that.
Well, I didn't really know about it. I was doing media for about a couple hours after the pick happened, so they were waiting outside for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I guess everyone just lined up outside. And when I finally got to go out there, it was good to see everyone.
So who was all out there?
A lot of coaches, strength and conditioning program, our coaches from that, and just a lot of people from the neighborhood that wanted to show their support. So I thought it was a really cool experience.
That must have been so special for you. You were beaming, smiling ear to ear, and you deserve all of that. You've had to work for everything. You were never given anything in Oregon. You had to work for that starting job. Even when you look at what you did in the Rose Bowl, when the passing game wasn't working, you decided to take off and run. I mean, on the sly, are you actually a running quarterback?
I would say that I have the ability to. I would say that I'm pretty athletic. At least I like to think that. And especially the last 2 games of the year, had a lot more read concepts in there, so it gave us an advantage, and I thought it worked out well.
Well, it seems like no matter what the situation is, you're always trying to make it work, and you always do make it work. And at this point, I feel like your academic accomplishments are becoming legendary. What you were able to do off the field at Oregon, a 4.1 GPA, that's incredible. So it kind of just leads me to want to know, are you the type of person that would rather kind of sit and learn and then be more comfortable going in after having kind of taken everything in once you're in LA?
I don't think that I have too much control over the situation. I'm just going to go in there and be the best quarterback that I can be. Whether I'm the guy, whether I'm sitting and learning, I'm going to do everything I can to be that guy and to push and to compete. But at the end of the day, I just have to go in there, do my best, be a good teammate, good friend, and be a good quarterback.
Have you had any conversations yet with your new coach or any of your new teammates?
Yeah, I talked with a lot of the coaches. After the call, they just said, we're excited, we're fired up to have you. Can't wait for you to get down here, and we'll figure out some of the logistics in the next couple of days.
So when you kind of look at all of the great quarterbacks that have played for the Chargers, you have Dan Fouts, you have Phillip Rivers. What do you bring, and what are some of the misconceptions that you want to change everyone's minds about?
Yeah, I think arm strength is one of those big things that I've been able to do, and I pride myself on preparation, and I work extremely hard, and I'm going to do everything I can to put the team in a position to win. And I think athletic ability is another underrated value of my game, and look forward to kind of just elevating those games. And there are a lot of things that I can work on, but I'll have plenty of time to do that, and can't wait for the opportunity.
6th overall pick. That's a clear message to the fans, to the team, to you, that you're the guy. I mean, are you ready for this?
I'm fired up. It's such a great opportunity. I've been waiting for this for my entire life, and just stoked for the opportunity, and can't wait to get down there and get to work.
So, Justin, I know you have something going on here with EA. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yep, I'm really excited to team up with EA's hashtag Stay and Play initiative and play some fans in Madden 20, which is free to play this weekend to celebrate the NFL draft. Fans that play the free trial this weekend can also get a special Madden Ultimate Team Pack with me. Just kind of one of those special things that's going on this weekend. Really looking forward to it.
Well, congratulations. We wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
You bet. I appreciate it.
The Chargers think Charlie Casserly, that's a pretty good pick. He just fell right to him. They didn't have to move up to get their quarterback, so they should be happy. Charlie, who's your best pick in this draft?
The easy answer is Chase Young, one of the best defensive ends I've ever scouted. You get him second in the draft, but let's forget about that. It's too easy. Xavier McKinney, Alabama, safety in the 2nd round to the New York Giants. Why? I interviewed 12 teams from the end of the season to before the draft. They all had him as their top safety. He was my top safety. I gave him a 1st-round grade. You get him in the 2nd. What do I like? Natural, free safety when he's deep. Got range, got instincts, can get to the ball. He's a physical tackler. He'll come down in the box and tackle him, and you'll see him run with tight ends. I saw him in press coverage. 4.63 ran. So what? I think he's faster, but it's all about instincts when you play safety.
All right, they once took Landon Collins in the 1st round out of Alabama. Now they take Xavier McKinney. What about the best value pick, Charlie, through 3 days?
I'll tell you what, the Baltimore Ravens, 2nd round, late 2nd round, my number 1 running back. I don't care what anybody else thinks. He's my number 1 running back, J.K. Dobbins of Ohio State. Great production. What do I like about his style? Tell you what, inside the tackle, he's a north-south guy, aggressive, has good feet in the hole. When he takes it to the outside to stretch it, foot in the ground, 90-degree cut, and explode up the field. Fits the Ravens' running style perfectly. Terrific pick by the Ravens.
Yeah, I love that pick as well. I know people say, why do you need him? Well, you're the #1 running team in football. Mark Ingram now has a 3 in front of his age. Get J.K. Dobbins in there on a second-round contract. That'll do you well. What about a sleeper, Charlie? Can you give me a sleeper through 3 days?
Oh, I got one. Everybody was sleeping on this guy here. Devin Asiasi, the tight end from UCLA. When I'm watching the tape of all these top tight ends, this guy's the best blocker. He's physical, he adjusts, he hangs in there as far as keeping his feet in balance. He's a very good blocker. Now, pass catcher. Guy's got quickness in his separation so he can get open. But he also has a knack and a feel for running routes on when to make his break and when to settle down in zone defense. Now, I know he's somewhat of a one-year wonder, but hey, Belichick makes everybody better. But to me, this guy's...
Charlie Casserly likes Devin Asiasi, who was at Michigan. They slept on him there. He then ended up at UCLA, and we think people slept on him here, too. 91st overall pick by the Patriots. Thank you, Charlie Casserly. We continue here on NFL Total Access Draft Recap, presented to you by Ram Truck. Coming up next...